Hey everyone, you know that moment when you're walking down the street and your brain instantly starts making assumptions about the people around you? Maybe you think you can tell someone's job, their background, or even their sexual orientation just by looking at their face. Today, we're going to dive into something fascinating: why our brains make these snap judgments, particularly focusing on the myth of gaydar and the science of facial perception. Picture this: you're people watching at a cafe. Your brain is processing hundreds of faces, making split-second decisions and categorizations without you even realizing it. It's kind of amazing, right? But here's where it gets interesting, and sometimes problematic. Many people claim they can just tell if someone is gay by looking at their face. Let's unpack why this happens, and why it's more complex than you might think. First, let's talk about why our brains love to categorize people. It's actually a survival mechanism that evolved over millions of years. Our ancient ancestors needed to make quick decisions about who was friend or foe. That pattern recognition ability helped keep them alive. But in our modern world, this same mechanism can lead us down a problematic path of stereotyping and prejudice. Here's what's happening in your brain when you look at a face. In just milliseconds, your amygdala, that's your brain's emotional center, starts firing away. It's processing everything from facial features to expressions, comparing them to every face you've ever seen and every stereotype you've consciously or unconsciously absorbed from society. It's like your brain has created a massive database of patterns. But here's the catch: this database is heavily influenced by media, cultural biases, and our own limited experiences. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Why do people think they can identify someone's sexual orientation from their face? The answer lies in a perfect storm of factors. First, there's confirmation bias. When people correctly guess someone's orientation, they remember it and count it as evidence of their gaydar, but they tend to forget or ignore all the times they were wrong. It's like remembering only the times you accurately predicted the weather, while forgetting all your missed calls. Second, we're picking up on social and cultural cues rather than any inherent facial features. Think about it. Fashion choices, grooming styles, and certain expressions are often associated with different communities. But these are learned behaviors and personal choices, not biological markers. Let's talk about the science. Despite some questionable studies claiming otherwise, there's no scientific evidence for the existence of universal gay facial features. The variation of facial features within any community is far greater than any perceived differences between communities. Those studies claiming to find patterns, they often suffer from serious methodological flaws, like small sample sizes, selection bias, and the influence of cultural markers in their photo sets. Think about your own face for a moment. Your features are a complex mix of genetics, hormones, age, and lifestyle factors. None of these elements are exclusively linked to sexual orientation. That subtle smile you wear, it's shaped by your experiences and emotions, not your orientation. Those laugh lines, they're from your unique way of expressing joy. But here's where it gets really interesting: the psychology behind why people want to believe they can tell. It often comes down to our human desire for order and categorization. We're uncomfortable with ambiguity. Being able to sort people makes us feel more in control of our social world. It's the same reason people believe in horoscopes or personality types. We love putting things in neat boxes. The problem is, these assumptions can have real consequences. They can lead to discrimination, affect mental health, and reinforce harmful stereotypes. They can make people feel pressured to either conform to or deliberately defy these expectations rather than just being themselves. So, what's the takeaway here? Our brains are amazing pattern recognition machines, but sometimes they oversimplify complex human realities. The next time you catch yourself making assumptions about someone based on their appearance, remember, you're probably seeing what you've been conditioned to see, not what's actually there. We're all guilty of making snap judgments. It's part of being human, but being aware of this tendency is the first step toward moving past it. Instead of trying to put people in boxes based on how they look, why not embrace the beautiful complexity of human diversity? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you caught yourself making these kinds of assumptions? How do you challenge your own biases? Share your experiences in the comments below, but remember to keep the discussion respectful and constructive. Remember to like and subscribe if you found this valuable, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on more content that challenges our assumptions and explores the fascinating world of human psychology.